Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you've ever felt like your brain just kind of freezes, buffers maybe, when a native English speaker talks casually.
Yeah, that feeling.
Right. Well, today's deep dive is basically designed to be your essential software upgrade for that. We're really on a mission here. We want to equip you with practical strategies to finally decode and, master natural, fast-paced English. Those moments, we've all had them, where it feels like someone just said 3 words, or maybe 30, and you're just lost.
Completely lost. It happens all the time.
We're going to try and transform those into real aha insights for you. Think of this as your shortcut. Your way through when English feels less like talking and more like a race car or something.
A rocket, maybe?
Yeah.
And look, that frustration, feeling lost when things speed up, it's incredibly common. It's really not just in your head.
Okay.
Native English speakers are actually speaking fast. And there's a solid reason it all feels like, a completely different language sometimes.
Sure. Right. So now that we know why it feels like a rocket, let's talk about the actual tools. What can we put in our fluency toolbox?
Let's do it.
We're going to explore sort of the science behind why it sounds so fast, then dive into some practical listening strategies. Okay. And finally, pinpoint specific patterns, things that will hopefully make rapid conversations just, click.
Exactly. Let's unpack it.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that speed factor, there was a study, University of Lyon, I think.
Okay.
They found native English speakers average about 150 to 180 words per minute, just in casual chat.
Wow, 180 words a minute. That's cool. Yeah.
It's a significant cognitive load. Your brain has to process a vast amount of info really quickly. It's no wonder it can feel overwhelming.
That speed definitely explains the rocket feeling for sure.
Yeah.
But is there something else going on under the hood, so to speak, beyond just the sheer pace?
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point. It's not just speed. Native speakers also use what we call word reduction, linking, and contraction.
Okay, reduction, linking, contract.
Yeah. They basically blend words together. They shorten sounds. Sometimes they even drop them entirely. So like, what are you doing? Often just becomes, what you doing?
Right. Or I've heard, like, did you eat yet? Becomes
Cheat yet.
Cheat yet, exactly.
Yeah. And that compression of sounds, that's what makes it feel like a whole different language.
Yeah.
Because the individual words you learned in a textbook, they often just aren't pronounced that way in isolation in real life.
Totally. You're expecting one thing from the book, and you get something else entirely out in the wild. Okay, so if catching every single word is, like, impossible, or at least really hard, what's the breakthrough strategy? How do we navigate this flow?
Okay, so here's the first big tip, and it's a shift in mindset, really.
Yeah.
You need to stop trying to catch every single word. Instead, listen for word chunks.
Word chunks, like small groups of words that just naturally go together.
Precisely.
So instead of hearing, I would have gone if I had known, you train yourself to hear it more like, I would gone if I had known. Something like that.
That's exactly the idea. Native speakers don't pause between every single word. Think about it like listening to music.
Okay.
You're not focused on every single individual note, right? You focus on the rhythm, the phrases, the melody.
That makes a lot of sense. Focus on the rhythm, like music. But I can imagine someone listening now thinking, okay, that sounds great, but won't I miss important details if I'm not catching every single word? What do you say to that?
That's a really fair question. But the beauty of listening for chunks is, well, your brain, it's kind of freed up. It's not doing the impossible task of processing every tiny sound.
Okay.
So we can actually use context clues much better and intonation to fill in the gaps. Honestly, it's how native speakers themselves process so fast. They're not consciously hearing every single letter or sound. It's more about building a framework for understanding, not perfect word-for-word decoding.
Thinking back, that whole idea about chunks really clicked for me during my first job interview in English years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember trying to do exactly what you said not to do, like hanging on every single word. It was a disaster, frankly.
That can do it.
But then when I started thinking more about the flow, the phrases, it really was a game changer. It made so much more sense. So, okay, once you start recognizing these chunks, you then need to actually expose your ears to the real thing, right? A lot.
Yes, definitely. That immersion approach is absolutely crucial. You have to train your ears with authentic, fast English, podcasts.
Like this one.
Hopefully. YouTube, Netflix, TED Talks, whatever you like. These are your best friends for this. But there's a sort of clever trick with using this stuff.
Ah, the subtitle trick. I think I know this one. First, you use English subtitles, right? Watch or listen with them on.
Yep.
Then you listen again, but without them. Is that it? Like a two-step thing?
That's the one. It's surprisingly effective. And then building on that, there's the power of shadowing.
Shadowing. Okay, explain that.
This is where you literally repeat immediately after the speaker. You try to mimic their speed, their rhythm, their tone, everything.
Right after them, like an echo.
Exactly like an echo. This technique is incredibly powerful because it actually trains your mouth, your articulatory muscles, to make the sounds the same way native speakers do.
Ah, okay.
And that, in turn, helps your brain recognize those sounds much more easily when you're just listening. It connects the production and reception.
I can totally vouch for that. I actually shadowed, I think it was an entire season of Friends using this technique way back.
No way.
Yeah.
The whole season.
Yeah. And honestly, to this day, I sometimes catch myself saying, "How you doing?" Just like Joey.
Uh-huh. See?
It works.
It really does build that kind of muscle memory. It's strange but true.
It certainly does. And look, there's actual science backing this up, too. Research from the University of Maryland showed that learners who practice with native speed input, just 15 minutes a day.
Only 15 minutes.
Yep, just 15 minutes. They showed significant improvements in their listening comprehension after only about 4 weeks. Wow. That's a pretty amazing return on investment for just 15 minutes a day.
Isn't it? It's very motivating.
Definitely. Okay, so that's immersion and shadowing.
What?
Now let's talk about what I kind of think of as the real secret sauce. The thing that really throws people off with fast English.
You must mean connected speech.
That's the one, connected speech.
This is where sounds change or they merge together, or sometimes they even just disappear when people talk naturally. Because the words all blend together, it's really the heart of understanding rapid dialogue.
Okay, give us some examples.
Sure. The classics are things like want to becoming wanna.
Wanna, yep.
Going to becomes gonna.
Gonna, got it.
And maybe did you. Often sounds like do you.
Do you, right. Like, do you see that?
Exactly, do you see that? Perfect example.
And for the longest time, I actually thought gonna was just, I don't know, slang. Something I shouldn't really use in proper English.
A lot of people think that.
Yeah. Then it suddenly just clicked for me. Like, oh, wait. That's just how people actually talk. It wasn't about being informal necessarily. It was just the natural efficiency of speech. It felt like solving a puzzle that had been right there the whole time.
That is the core of it, that
Yeah.
realization.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding these patterns, it just helps you recognize fast speech so much more easily.
Right.
Because you're no longer confused by how different it sounds from, textbook English.
Right.
It removes that layer of, cognitive friction. Things just
Mhm.
become smoother. Comprehension flows better.
I have such a vivid memory of this exact thing happening to me my first trip to New York City years ago.
Okay. New York speed.
Exactly. I felt pretty confident in my English. I'd
Oh.
studied for years until this guy came up to me on the street, super casual, and just said something like, "Sup, you want to grab a slice later?"
Okay, classic New York right there. Sup? You want to grab a slice?
And I completely froze, totally blanked. Despite all those years of English class, I didn't understand a single word he said in that moment.
Yeah.
It was baffling and kind of embarrassing, honestly.
Oh, I bet. But that's such a perfect example. It's a classic native-style sentence, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's short, it's fast, it's incredibly casual.
totally.
And what's fascinating is just how much meaning is compressed into that really rapid flow of sounds. All thanks to connected speech, contractions, slang like slice for pizza.
Right. But now, with everything we've talked about today, understanding chunks, connected speech, I'd hear that completely differently.
How would you hear it now?
Now I'd hear that and my brain would just translate it instantly. Like, oh, he's asking what's up and if I want to get some pizza later.
Exactly.
And I could just respond naturally. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm down for pizza or whatever.
See, that transformation is amazing.
It really is. It goes from that moment of panic and freezing to just being able to respond spontaneously. It proves that real English is fast, but it's actually fun once you start to get the hang of it. The freedom it gives you is just incredible.
Absolutely. So just to summarize maybe the core strategies we've talked about for understanding fast English.
Yeah, let's recap.
Okay, first, listen for chunks, not every single word.
Got it. Chunks, not words.
Second, train your ears daily.
Yeah.
Use real, authentic content.
Daily practice. Makes sense.
Third, learn those common connected speech patterns. The wannas, the gonas, the do-yous.
Recognize the shortcuts. Yep.
Fourth, practice shadowing. Use subtitles first, then maybe without. Mimic the speakers.
The shadowing technique. Crucial.
And maybe the most important one, stay patient, and be consistent. This takes time.
Patience and consistency, always key in language learning. Okay, so based on all that, here's your challenge for this week, listeners. If you choose to accept it,
All right, lay it on them.
pick one thing. A video, a podcast episode, maybe a scene from a Netflix show you like. Something with native speakers talking naturally.
Okay.
Turn on the English subtitles first. Just listen through once, maybe follow along. Then listen again without the subtitles, and then try to shadow. Just repeat what they say right after them. Try it for just 10 minutes a day.
Just 10 minutes. Totally doable.
Totally doable. Do that consistently, and I promise you'll be amazed at the progress you make. Those buffering moments, they'll start to disappear much faster than you think.
It really works.
Okay.
And maybe, as you embark on this challenge, here's a final thought to consider.
Ooh, okay.
Truly mastering connected speech. It isn't just about understanding the words someone is saying. It's actually about unlocking something deeper. It's about getting the rhythm, the natural flow, almost the music of a culture.
The music of a culture, I like that.